Hey, Moose Country, welcome to another episode of Let Us Be Heard.
What's up, Moose fam? Calling back here for another episode of Let Us Be Heard. Fortunately, I'm flying solo today as Dale has a bit of a cold and is unable to make it tonight. Nevertheless, the show must go on. So please join me in welcoming Peter Bayles. Peter Bayles, the man, the myth, the legend, the star. What is up, sir? How are you?
One day at a time, sweet Jesus. That's what's up. What's up with you?
I love the energy, buddy. I love the energy. It's kind of why I wanted to have you on here. The energy that you bring into the very beginning, the first thing we see on the ice is absolutely incredible, and we feel it in the stands. So I'm very pumped to have you on for this.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thanks for asking. It's great. Yeah, it's a wonderful atmosphere when the place is rocking. I tell you, it's really a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
100%. So how long have you been singing the national anthem for the Halifax Mooseheads?
This, believe it or not, is my 15th season.
Get out.
I can't believe it. You know, it all started with just a little idea that at one point I had I was going to start barking. I had a box when I owned the Elevating Castle. I had a box at the then Metro Center, and I used to go to the games. And what really sort of caught my attention was there was always a different singer, right, in the anthem. And then I went, fate would happen. I went to a cocktail party at somebody's house, and I think James Logan was his name. I think he had something to do with the convention center, some association with the Moosehead. And a couple of little cocktails in, I said something to the effect of, not that it would be me, but, you should probably, this thing is a warm-up for the show, right? These guys are getting ready to go to the NHL, some of these cats. Maybe and you guys put on, it's run like that, so maybe you should have consistency in the anthem singer. And in that moment, he said, okay, well, you go ahead and sing them. At that acapella, I sang both national American Canadian anthems in a house, and he looked at me and went, what's your phone number? So I subsequently got a phone call. I went down. I auditioned on the ice with nobody there except for 12, maybe 6 to 12 people from the Mooseheads organization. And I sang both anthems, and as I walked to the boards, one of the guys came down and said, welcome to the next season of the Halifax Mooseheads.
Nice. That answers my next question. That was literally my next question. I was going to say how to come to be, but I love stories like that because it's stuff that the fans, we don't know. We don't know how you got there. We just see you there, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. It's like, I wish everybody could understand how awesome it feels to do that. I mean, I'm coming from a place of a passionate, dedicated, loyal Canadian. I used to play the sport at a high level way back in the 70s.
Really?
Much different game now, I look at some of that stuff and compare it to footage from then to now. It's like, these guys would be like, do laps on us from back then. But anyway, so, and proud Canadian, love hockey, and I'm a singer. So I thought, what a great thing to do. And it all came about from a little dream that I had. I know I'll keep going if you want. So
keep going.
So when I was a kid, my dad used to take my brother and I by the CN trains at that point, via rail, from Halifax to Montreal to visit family. And in that visit, it was a March break. There was a bunch of years we went. I was probably, 11 to 15 or something like that. We always went and caught at the old Montreal Forum 3 or 4 of the games, depending on how many there were in the March break. And I used to go, I still dream as a 61-year-old man. I still dream about playing for the Habs. You know what I mean?
You're definitely a Montreal fan then, eh?
I'm a Habs fan. You gonna hold that against me?
No, that's exactly. I knew there was a reason I liked you, bud.
You always got to be careful. It's either Montreal, Boston, or Toronto.
Yeah, them Toronto fans, man.
Yeah, geez, you know what I love about Toronto fans? Dedication. Anyway, so I also, I was listening to opening of the games. There was this guy, a silver-haired guy, right, in this tuxedo that sang the national anthem. And as much as having the dream of playing hockey at that age, wow, I'd like to do that someday. Honest to God, I had that thought probably around 12 years old.
Wow.
That would be able to do something like that. And here I am, little did I know, being able to do that. And that guy's name was Roger Doucette, he was a long time singer for the Montreal Canadiens, anthem singer for the Habs. And the joke is, my 15 years now, or into my 15th season, this is my perpetual audition to sing for the Habs. So
So have you ever sent a tape in?
I've sent 8 or 9 tapes in.
Really?
I've contacted through email the HR. I even have a contact to the Molson family, which is in the form of my brother. My brother talked to one of the Molsons because he does business with them. And she said, I would help you out, but that is just that's nowhere near her purview. I don't know if that means there's a lineup of people that want to do that. Imagine there is.
Oh, I would imagine so. I mean, that's probably a lot of people's dream.
My thing is, yeah, seriously. My thing is, it's a bucket list thing for me, man. Just stand in the Bell Center to do that.
Just one time.
Just once.
Just one time, man.
It's proven that I can do it, right? Because I sang for was it the World? What did I sing for? Was it the M Cup, right?
Oh yeah,
the Cup. I did all
in 2019.
Yeah, all of them,
yeah.
And I was dressed up in a tux, and I couldn't show. You weren't allowed to show team loyalty, just the way it ran, right?
Yeah.
So I was on TV every single night, right? And they broadcast me. They didn't cut to commercial, so it's like, man, and I'm singing half a part of it in French, the part in English, So it's like somebody's got to I'm not bad at this. Somebody's got to catch this, Like last year, I sang. I've done NHL preseason games,
Yeah.
and anthems. I did Pittsburgh, Ottawa last year. That was
a really good show. Yeah.
Mind-blowing experience. I was standing on the ice and I'm singing, and then I took a peek and I went, oh my God, it's Denny Malkin and freaking Sidney Crosby. And I was like, where am I? And I was like, Jesus, where am I? And it was right at the high note. Like, I flubbed the high note just a touch, but I got through it.
You saved it, did you?
I saved it, yeah. And the money note. But yeah, that was so my point is, it's like, I just hopefully it happens. I hope somebody picks me up somehow, and I would just like, man, if I could go sing in the Bell Center,
just one time, just make a man's dream come true.
I'm no slouch at it, I know what I'm.
I know. We listen to you every night, man. And that being said, like when last year, I don't know if you took a day off or what it was, but if it was maybe for there was a special night for Women's Night, National Women's Night or whatever. Where you weren't there. The lady did a fine job, but it was no Peter Bayles. You know what I mean? It was missed.
I appreciate that. I've heard from a couple of team members through other people. When they're there, they're always focused in their warm up and all that stuff. And like when they won everything was when Nathan was around and Duran was around, and then they had that big celebration for the trophy for the Man the President's Cup down at Grand Parade. And I walked up on the stage I opened the thing singing for that celebration, the anthem. And when I walked on the stage, the entire team was there, and they all ran over and embraced me and shit. I'm like,
oh, that's amazing.
You guys do know who I am. And then one guy was on. I don't know. I forget what show he was on. Somebody sent me the link to it. This is a couple of years back. I think King was his last name. He's from here, and he played
Jason King.
Yeah. He said, there's nothing like when I'm standing. When we're sitting on the bench and you come out and sing that anthem, and it gets us going. It gets us going every time. And then I remember I played a band called the Hopping Penguins. We played the Shore Club last summer, play every summer. But last summer, one of these guys from, oh my God, I can't remember the team. And he was just there visiting, and he came up to me right when I was coming off the stage, and he goes, I'm on the other team, man. And when they're singing, I get so pumped up. It's unbelievable. So
we hear that from a lot of players from other teams. How when they come here, the atmosphere, not just the national anthem, but the atmosphere itself, the fans, the production, it even gets them fired up, right?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really is. It's so close to the NHL presentation. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree. So is there any significance to the number 63?
Well, I just gave it away. I said I'm 61 years old. So what year do you think I was born?
So that was one of the fans' guess when they heard that Dylan, who sits behind the penalty box there. We were thinking maybe it was a Brad Marchand, but he said no, he was probably born in 63. And I'm like, shit, he doesn't look that old.
Yeah, baby.
Good, buddy. Look good.
Yeah. Still got the dimples. So, yeah, I get that a lot, but it's, I could go off about Brad Marchand. I know he's from around here. I get the whole thing, but then, I mean, he's a rat, and every Stanley Cup team needs a rat.
That's right. That's right. We got
phenomenally skilled hockey player. Besides all the garbage that he throws out there.
We have Yakov this season.
What's that?
We have Yakov this season to be our rat.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
So the part where you stop singing and allow the fans to sing, is that something that happened organically? Did you always do it like that, or was it one night you're like, let's get the crowd going and get them to sing it, or just was it always like that?
So being an entertainer anyway, right? And I wanted to make a mark of when I decided that I was going to go sing. And they said, come along. I went, I got to do something different. And I remember hardly anybody ever sang in French. And I'm like, this is called the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. I'm going to sing part of this in French, right? Maybe that's why Montreal doesn't pay attention, because I don't start off French.
It could be it. You sing it the opposite way they would, yeah.
I might tape one night, start French, and then go back to English.
You would mess us all up if you did that. You would screw with every fan in the building.
So I thought, I had seen other places where the crowd sings along. I thought, I wonder if I can fit that in there. And I could. I figured out having that a half a stanza there to get the audience to sing. And then, the go Moose go at the end. So it's like, I always say to people, man, I pack a lot in about a minute and 28. Yeah,
I'd say. Like I said, man, when you're not there, it's felt hockey is a lot about superstition. So if you're not there, we're going to lose. That's it. So are you a musician as a career, or do you have another job?
No, I was in the restaurant business for eons, and and then I got out of that, and now I work for UPS, and it's a tough gig, but when I first started learning the restaurant business, I was always a singer, actor, that kind of stuff. I've done shows at Neptune Theater.
Oh, get out.
I played Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar with Alfie Zappacosta and Heather Rankin.
Really?
And the newspaper gave me all the good reviews.
So how long have you been a musician?
Well, professionally, I think my first gig was with a cover band called Main Street, and I was 20 years old.
Jeez.
We played down at Peddler's Pub eons ago.
Wow, and is that even there anymore?
No, God, no.
That's Woodside. That's Woodside, right?
No, this Peddler's was down in historic properties at the very end of Granville Street.
Okay.
In that Grand Parade, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I had my band in the 80s called Steps Around the House that did quite well, as far as recognition. I like to say one of Canada's best unsigned bands, because we got all cocky and arrogant about, no, we're not changing a thing. We're going to do it our way. Well, if we just went, okay, we'll just bend a little, maybe I'd be singing a different song. But
we're not conforming, man.
I know, right? Reminds me just I was 22 or whatever at the time, the pride thing and all that.
Yep.
Like they say, if you get to, I remember Pat Riley, bass player, wonderful guy. He said they get 3.5 minutes is the pop song. It's a canvas, right?
Yep.
Make it work. Just make it work. Do whatever you want, but make that formula work. And then if you get successful, you can start to, stretch out a little bit. Like a guy like Peter Gabriel, right? He not that I'm comparing myself or band. That guy had some pop music, and then he got to be expanding what he's all about. And now it's like, you wouldn't call it pop music. It's kind of avant-garde stuff. But lots of people do that. They get started, then they fit into the category, and then they can branch out once they get a little bit of success. So we had that. Then I joined the Hopping Penguins in 1990, and that band's been still going. We just had our 42nd year. Yeah.
Yeah, no, congratulations.
Yeah, we played Chester Race Week. We've done that for 42 years. One give or take one with COVID or something like that.
So
And
where's your next show? So people who are watching this may want to.
Our next booked show is December 14th. I think. Let me check that at the Carlton. We just played in Halifax.
Sounds like a good date night to me for anybody who wants to bring their wife out to hear some good music.
High Energy Band. Yes, December 14th is Saturday night in December. High Energy Band. We've been around tour the country a whole bunch. There's a couple of videos out there from the late 90s. Late 80s, early 90s. And, so we're lucky that we still get out there and we still may not be hopping penguins anymore, sort of like lumbering penguins maybe, but because we're all officially in our 60s now. So
there's no way you could know, but I have some musicians in my family you may have heard of before.
Who's that?
You ever hear of the Fiddlin' Landrys, Ned Landry?
Oh my God, yeah.
So that's my uncle, and do you know who his first cousin is?
Yeah, who's that?
Oh, the good old hockey game.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, man. That's
yeah, buddy. Fun. So I when I found out that I was related to Stompin' Tom, it's second or third cousin, but I was like, I got to learn how to play guitar. So I ended up getting lessons from Rita McNeil's former bass player, Ali. Can't remember his name. It starts with a B. He ended up marrying Cindy Day, the weather girl.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
John Chasson used to play bass with Rita too, and who else? There's a whole bunch of crossover musicians. Kim Dunn's been around doing that kind of stuff with all those people, and Bruce Dixon and all those guys. So that's cool. Are you still playing?
I still play guitar. I really enjoy it. It kind of mellows me out. I see it. That looks like, is that a Gibby?
It's a Yamaha.
Oh, it's one of the most underrated guitars out there, man. Like my favorite guitar I ever owned was a cheap Yamaha FG310.
Yeah, this is an old one. I bought this one, from Dale Letcher from Big Fish. He got rid of it because he moved up a little bit. But that's it's acoustic with a pickup in it. So.
Yeah. I also had a Taylor at one point. And I was too scared to play it. It was an expensive guitar. I ended up selling to somebody who would play it, and I ended up buying my wife a diamond necklace with the proceeds. So, yeah, right, yeah.
Happy wife, happy.
Right, exactly. So, have you ever had any bloopers on the ice where you've either you missed a note or tripped over the carpet or anything like that?
I got to knock on wood when I say this. The very first night, and I know because stepping on carpets and stuff, they said the carpet's slippery. I'm like, yeah, I know. And I freaking slipped the carpet.
No.
I just caught myself very quickly on the boards, but that was it. Let me think if I've ever, I can honestly say, not yet. Now we don't even want to tempt
fate. Let's knock on wood here, man. That's very fortunate. That's a long time to not mess up.
And the funny thing is, I get recordings of it once in a while, and I listen, and I listen to them like side by side. And my tempo's almost always bang on, and my pitch is always almost bang on to every time that I do it. So, and like sometimes I might have, there's been a couple of times I've had a Saturday night gig and it's 3:00 in the afternoon game or 2:00. I'm like, oh God, is this voice going to work? So I might bring the key down a full tone or so, just so I can get out the high note at the end, right? But no, man, I can't think of anything really, really, really glowing. But I noticed that when people do flub it up, they get more attention.
Oh yeah, 100%. They go viral.
The guy got Cooper skeeted over the carpet, and then people will sing it really horribly, and people forget. But I think if you ever forgot, I think that this day and age, the audience would actually just pick it up.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think especially in that building, I think we would all just start singing. Like 100%. Yeah. Like that building's great for that. So I had a friend of mine reach out. He knew I was going to be doing this interview today, and he has a question for you. He wants to know where you go after you're done. Like, do you stay and watch? Like, are you a fan? Do you watch the hockey game, or do you have to take off to another gig, or where is it you disappear to?
periodically I'll stick around for like maybe for a period or so. Or see, sometimes I stay for the whole games. I used to do that an awful lot when back when they were winning a lot, right? And I
Yep.
did last year a little bit, but generally because I'm a 5:30 in the morning get up guy, right?
Yep.
So I generally just go home. Sometimes if it's a Friday night we have a gig, I'll definitely go to the gig. But generally home actually, because save dinner till after the anthem and come home and have dinner. Pretty much. But
Nice.
I like to stay. Especially as we get later in the season, right, and that kind of stuff.
Do you,
And
do you,
then
sorry,
right.
sorry, I thought you were finished there. You said you eat after the game, so do you have a ritual before the game? Hockey, as I said, is a very superstitious sport. Do you have like a warm up or something that you do every night?
I'm so glad you said that. There's an actual routine that I wanted to make a short film of this because and call it the anthem singer because just from coming in past the security, it's how I go, where I walk to, who I say hello to, because you see the same faces back there. Fist pump, fist pump. I'll go and I gotta walk out to the where I come out, like the penalty box, and look around. I gotta do that. Then I go back and I'll go. I used to have a dressing room way back when, but I didn't really. Turns out I didn't really need it. I used to go back all the way where the Zambonis come out, have a look, see, come in, walk circles around the room behind there. I don't know if you know, there's a big open space back there, underneath the stands. And I warm up. I'll sing it. I'll sing it once entirely, and then I'll just warm up my voice, and then I put my sweater on, and then I walk out again, have a look, check the microphone. Now I have a wireless, and just wait. So it's always it's a very not very much variation on that routine. And if I miss something, because you talk about superstitions, I feel strange. Like who's the fellow that does some of the? He gets behind the bench once in a while. He's got he and his mother have. Is it Tyler?
Oh, you're
He's
talking
got
assistant equipment manager?
yeah.
Yeah, it's Tyler.
I used to always have to fist pump him, but he's not there anymore.
He's over on the bench until game time. Yeah, he's typically on his way over probably when you're singing or still on the bench. Yeah.
That freaked me out, man, when he was gone. I'm like, holy shoot, man, that's done. What's going on here? I can't. Anyway,
We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose.
and I have to say hello. And I have to make sure that I say hello to everybody working the time clocks and all that stuff. I got to. I got like, and it's an eye contact thing.
Yeah.
I have to do it. When I come in, when I see Ian Robinson, and it's a fist bump, looking at each other. And the other thing, when it's done, Ian and I have this thing now. When I come off the ice, he stands up, and I look at him, and we've actually fist bumped each other, and we take off. It's got to do.
Ian's an incredible guy, huge supporter of the channel, always has been, a good friend of mine. Ian's one of the best, man, one of the best. So is there more pressure on you to perform if you know it's a big game, like either the NHL preseason that we had here or a big playoff game? Do you feel more pressure on you to be good?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially when we come to the playoffs, then rituals become really, really heavy, right? So, and I don't want to be, I think the other reason why I sing it straight, I don't believe in the vocal gymnastics and all that stuff that people do. I sing it straight. I've had so many nice, wonderful comments from say the elderly population or people that have been served in the forces, right? They've come up to me and said, we are so grateful that you don't play around with the anthem, like with all those vocal tricks and stuff.
Yep.
You just sing it. And that was my decision.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
like,
no runs. You don't put any runs in it. There's no falsettos.
I can do all that, but that's not the room for it. Nobody's here. I like the fact that we're having a conversation, but I'm there to add to the evening. That's about it. To honor Canada, honor hockey, honor the fans, honor the teams. And that's it. And that's all.
With any luck, get a call up to the pros for one song.
Yeah, man, please.
Just one.
I'll even go to Toronto if they ask.
Don't say that, man. Wow, that's blasphemy.
I know I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. But that would be a hard thing to say no to. Shit. Man.
Maybe if they're playing Montreal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. So has there been a particular game where you got the crowd going and you know that they fed off your energy, or is that like every game? Do you feel like the crowd feeds off your energy every game?
I know if I got them when they sing along,
Yep.
and if you see me sort of
Yep.
pump them up,
Yep.
and then I can hear volume. Like there's nights when there's not as loud, and I don't mean just because of the amount of bodies there. Like this a night when there's been 4,500 people there, and it's just rivetingly loud, and it gives me goosebumps. I'm on the ice singing, and the audience is singing back, and I'm getting goosebumps because it's so cool. It's so cool. That's like I want to bring a camera out somehow that nobody can see, and get it from my perspective, right? Like that whole thing that happens for a minute and 28 seconds or whatever. It's like I wish everybody could experience that because it's so, especially when the place is sold out, and it's filled with rappers, and it's a playoff game, and the energy's there because I know everybody's on their feet and going nuts. And then they start making noise when I'm not even finished the thing, and they're up there yelling and screaming. So it's kind of cool. I love it.
We have a gentleman in the stands, Sebastian, who at a certain point, every time you're singing, there's a break, and he says, "Let's go, Moose."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
no matter where he's at, because he'll travel to go see some games in Moncton and so on and so forth. No matter where he's at, you hear him over everything. But it's the same point in the song where he yells that, and it's just like in days when he's not there. It almost feels like there's something missing from it, and then when the people interrupt your singing to start screaming again, that's all part of the energy, the atmosphere, the build up to the game, and I've never seen anybody do it better, at least in the QMJHL, than you, and that's truthful. I'm not just kissing your butt because you're on my show. I've been to other arenas, and the energy is palpable in our arena, not so much in other venues I've seen.
That's nice, man. I appreciate that. And that's like I said, anything being a fan of the game, man. Anything to bring everybody's head into the game. That's another reason why I'm doing it.
And you hit the nail right on the head when you said proud. Like I'm sure that it's an extremely proud moment. You're singing for your country. In the middle of a sporting event, I could only imagine what that feels like, and I can imagine the goosebumps just stacking on top of each other.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. Like, and back when we had I don't know if you paid attention, but back when 2017, when Canada, we did that. We had our sesquicentennial, the 150 years of Confederation. I set out to sing out. I put it just a Facebook thing. I'm going to try to sing 150 anthems this year in honor of Canada's 150th. And
I just heard about that recently. A friend told me that you went and you tried to document it to put it on social media.
I did whatever I could on social media, and then I locked in with Feed Nova Scotia to get donations and cash donations and stuff. So I think I raised like $4,000 or something like that for Feed Nova Scotia.
Wow.
But a bunch of food. But yeah, I thought it was going to take me all year. But as we got closer to July 1st, people were just calling, and I got to do swearing in ceremonies for new Canadian citizens.
That's amazing.
My 150th anthem was on Citadel Hill for our actual July 1st, but the actual birthday, where there was a swearing in ceremony. So all the families were under a tent, but a lot of people were following what I was doing because I was being covered by TV and radio and stuff. That there were another 1,000 people outside the tent that were just there to participate in that. And it landed. It was unbelievable. It landed. 150th anthem was in Halifax at the Citadel Hill for a swearing in ceremony. Man, I could barely get through that one. What started as just a fun idea, I got really emotional at most of them, man, because there was so many. And I also participated where that was when we were getting into acknowledging the unceded territory, right, of the Mi'kmaq, and it would be like a ceremonial presentation first, and then the anthem. And like, oh my God, this is so great. This now we're recognizing it. All was symbiotic and made so much sense, and it felt so good. It became a really, really emotional trip for me, man. But
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was so cool. And then it wasn't lost on me that I know we're singing an anthem about colonialism and all that kind of stuff, but at least we're entering we're acknowledging that there were people here before us.
100% coming together as well for a greater cause, right?
Yeah.
Yep, 100%. Listen, I won't keep you any longer, but can you tell the fans where they may be able to find some of your music if they're looking?
Oh, I don't know, man. I've like steps around the house. You Google it. I don't know. There might be a couple of videos there. The Hopping Penguins. I'm not in those videos, but I'm on the record singing backup. Man, I don't know. That's it. That's all I can tell you. I don't think of anything. But if you Google me singing anthems, you can find a whole bunch online from our 150th birthday. And I know that people have been posting some of the. Noah Hill is a guy on Facebook.
I know Noah. Yeah.
He tapes every opening before the introduction of the team, right up to the end of the anthem. Every home game is like.
He's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
One of those things I've edited myself, and I sent one of those to the Habs.
And still nothing. Come on, Montreal.
Nothing. So if anybody's listening out there from the Habs,
and also on December 14th at the Carlton, correct? At what time was that? 7?
I think we start at 8:30.
8:30. I'll definitely put it out there on our page for people to check out, and we may swing by as well. But listen, man, you've been a gem. I really do appreciate your time. Peter Bayles, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. And what do you say? Go, Moose, go!
Hey, that's my line.
Did I steal it from
No, it's good. I hope you're all healthy, safe.
Oh, Canada!
Hope you're all healthy, safe, and happy out there. And as always,
Go, Moose, go.
Go, Moose, go.